Hey guys, I'm back. I have a pretty serious video for y'all today about the dark, not so fun side of being a siren, of embodying that archetype as a feminine woman. I've been this way my entire life. You know, the mystery, the allure, the aloofness, the darkness, mystery, all that kind of stuff. Quiet. I just have a lot of mermaid energy, and I think that the siren, as beautiful of an archetype that it is, it can come with a lot of negative things as well. Not by any fault of your own, just the way that the world is and the way that people are, especially unhealed people that refuse to do the work and instead project onto you. So I just wanted to give you guys this kind of guide, not to discourage you from embodying like your true self or anything, but more so to empower you and make you aware of certain things so that you can protect yourself, okay? It's not all glamorous and powerful it's powerful all the time, but it's not all about that, okay? And it's 2:22 as I'm recording this. How amazing. Okay. Number one, this is probably the most off-putting, annoying, dangerous, bothersome part of this, and that is the obsession that comes from others. When you embody the siren archetype, you naturally draw people in. Your presence becomes intoxicating, and honestly, your aura feels like a mystery that they need to solve. And for some people, this is just harmless admiration, okay? But for others, it can quickly turn into obsession. And this is not just in a romantic way. It can be, of course, but it's also coworkers, friendships. There are those friendships that you meet someone and you guys just click right off the bat, but there's also the type that they just become obsessed with you very quickly. They want to be your best friend, and it can kind of be a little unnerving. And here's the thing, obsession does not always mean that they love you or want to love you, okay? Sometimes people want to control you. It goes back to this being a mermaid associated archetype, and there's all that folklore and myths and whatnot about mermaids being dangerous, but also kind of being prey, you know, and being hunted, and people wanting to trap and capture a mermaid and have her in a box at a museum. You know, people don't love you if they treat you like this. They love having you, and they project their fantasies, their insecurities, and their unmet desires onto you as if you're some kind of object or muse sent to complete their story. And it sounds powerful, right? But it can be very uncomfortable, because in that person's eyes, you lose your autonomy. You don't actually lose your autonomy by any means, but they want you to, and they try to kind of manipulate you to be what they think that you are. And they don't love you, they love having you, or they love controlling you. And they want to possess the idea of you. So there's two things wrong with that sentence. Number one, they want to possess you. And number two, it's not even about who you truly are, it's their idea of you. And that is when admiration can become dangerous. And when I didn't understand this, and when I didn't know how to protect myself and set boundaries and do other things to protect my energy and be discerning, it was exhausting, having to guard my energy all the time. But the more that I did certain things to protect myself, and the more that I slowed down and became aware, the easier it became. And in the beginning, you can kind of be unsure of who was genuinely interested in you and who was simply addicted to your presence. And that can be a very, very hard thing to figure out. But if you pay attention and you ask for discernment and ask for clarity, clarity will come, okay? Number two, being seen as a threat. And this is not just other women perceiving you as a threat. There are, like, men that perceive women as threats as well. And it doesn't matter if your intentions are pure or if you are entirely focused on yourself. Your magnetism can make people feel insecure in their own energy, either because they don't think that they have that magnetism, or they are too scared to embody it, or whatever. They just, again, projection. All of this comes down to projection. Okay? You might notice cold stares, passive-aggressive comments, or even outright hostility from people who just feel overshadowed by your presence. And it's likely assume your allure is a weapon you're wielding against them. Even if all that you're doing is existing, they make up these things in their head because they can't figure you out, because the siren has so much energy and so much mystery to her. So a lot of times when people can't figure something out, they try to fill in those gaps themselves. So they see how you present yourself to the world, but they know there's a lot more to you. And instead of being a normal human being and trying to get to know you in a healthy way without any ulterior motive, especially if you have your guards up, people are going to assume. People are going to project onto you because they can't access certain parts of you. So they have to try to label it for themselves and kind of decide what else is there, even if it's not, so that they have peace within their own mind. Okay? I told you guys before, I can get very, very deep into people's heads and figure out how they're thinking and why they're thinking that way and all of that. It is one of my gifts. It has served me very well. Most of the time, I keep quiet about it. But this is a pretty common thing. Like, I have friends that are sirens as well, and we kind of all deal with very similar stuff. And this can be very isolating, you know. Friendships can feel harder to maintain because your essence can unintentionally trigger insecurities or jealousy. You might even catch yourself dimming your own light just to make others feel more comfortable, and that's a lonely place to be. But it's only lonely if you give a fuck. Let me repeat that. It is only lonely if you give a fuck. I know if I trigger someone, that's not my problem. Because chances are it wasn't on purpose. I'm not deliberately trying to upset people, but if I do and I'm not doing anything to hurt you, you're just getting bothered, that's not my problem. Because that trigger either comes from your mother or your father or some trauma. Nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. People are projecting. I can't control that. All I can do is protect myself, take care of myself, and embody who I am anyway. Period. And siren energy has a lot of protective qualities. And this is one reason, and this is a whole separate video, this is one reason that, yes, I still post my selfies and stuff, you know, of myself, but I stopped making videos on camera for this reason. Because I can feel the shit. It's not because I'm cowardly. Yo no soy cobarde. Okay, I'm not a coward. It's because I can feel certain things and it makes me uncomfortable. Not because I'm scared, but there's a lot of glamour magic going on right now. People will try to be you. People will try to spiritually mask themselves as you. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. My darkness is much more comfortable. And I still show myself. Like I said, I still post my selfies and I still show my outfits and stuff. I'm still me. It's just, I am making these videos every single day, and I am not going to be on camera every single day. You're just not getting that access to me. I'm sorry. And that's a boundary that I put up. And people can think whatever the fuck they want. I don't really care. That's me being a siren and me protecting my beautiful mermaid siren energy. Period. You know? Point 3 that we have to deal with is always being misunderstood. Okay? And people rarely see us for who we truly are, but as I've grown as a woman, I've noticed that a lot of that is actually divine protection. Because most people, if you're a good woman, they don't deserve access to you like that. They don't. So I'm almost thankful for the people in the past that mistreated me or fumbled me or didn't see my worth or didn't even access very deeply this siren version of me, because they would not know how to handle it. And I've still had some that I gave access to mistakenly that did mishandle it. Like, I have my water under lock and key. I am my own container. Okay? But, like I said, people will try to project on you and figure you out because you're mysterious by nature, and when they can't, they kind of decide things for you. And I'm not unfeeling, I'm not well, I can be unfeeling and calculating, but only when it's necessary, you know? But people will often assume that you're manipulative, or you're shallow, or using your beauty as a weapon when you're just being yourself. Like, it doesn't matter how deep your thoughts are or how genuine your heart is. Your allure overshadows everything else. And let's be real, like, if you don't know how to navigate this, having people constantly misunderstand your intentions, it was exhausting for me until I stopped giving a fuck. Really. You can be kind and thoughtful, but people might still question your motives because of how powerful your energy is. Because I think a lot of people deep down, they know if they had that magnetism and they had that power, they would be using it for very bad reasons. So they assume that you're doing that, and you're not. Projection. It's like your sensuality and your allure and your beauty blinds them to your humanity. And that was a really heavy weight to carry for me. But then I kind of embraced it and became my own best friend and learned more about this archetype and learned more about certain traits of who I am. And yeah, it's not that I trying to embody something that I'm not. It's just, it's having an archetypal understanding of yourself is literally just putting the basics of who you are into words. I am other things, many other things besides this. But if someone had to label me of my energy, this is one of the labels. It just helps our human minds to conceptualize something. I can never be truly understood or navigated. I'm way too complicated. That's why, like, when people try to pull in my essence and try to, like, girl, if y'all knew. And the thing is, I know what these people are doing because I'm claircognizant. It's not that what they're doing is working. It's I can pick up on what people are trying to do because I have that gift. Even if they try to cloak it. Why? I have a lot of Siren, watery mermaid energy. Water is all about movement and feeling and intuition and manipulation, right? And water encapsulates things, so yeah. Girl, that's a whole separate video. Where was I going with that? I don't know. I mean, people will try to be you instead of trying to understand themselves, and it's pathetic. Like, I'm not talking about someone copying a phrase that I might say sometimes, or anything. I'm talking about literally pulling on someone's energy, trying to be them, and it's like, you could never be me, and you can't take me away from me, because I'm not going to let you. And having this understanding of my Siren energy has helped a lot with that. And everyone is different, you know, but it's just an aspect of the divine feminine, and people love to try to contort and manipulate and extort and use and abuse and harm the divine feminine at every turn, in every archetype that she is. Mother, teacher, grandmother, maiden, mother crone, witch, healer, priestess, psychic, all of the above. Because, and this is actually something that Shira 7, my auntie in my head, God bless her, I love Mama Shira, I really do. I've been watching her for years. She said, I don't remember what video it was, I want to say it was on her more mystical spiritual channel, which I think is a Shira Goddess or a Shira Star Goddess or something like that, her more spiritual YouTube channel. I think it was a video that she made fairly recently, like within the last few years, about the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, like, the Divine Feminine, and she was talking about, she says something along the lines of, when a woman steps into her divine feminine energy and truly starts to embrace it and embody it, she will face so much opposition that she will feel like she's at war. It was something along those lines, and that has always stuck with me. And it gave me a lot of peace when she said that, because I'm like, oh my God, this is like a universal thing for the feminine. And for a very long time, I felt that way. And a lot of people tried to start war with me for that reason, which is very upsetting, because when I look back on it, in those times when I was at war, it was always people that I was meant to help in some way. I was meant to help heal them and love them. That's why God put me in their life, and they turned on me. Or they tried to make me into something that I'm not. And it's disheartening, you know? But after everything passed, it's like, I just feel bad for them at the end of the day. And I'm going to keep being my feminine self. War does not exist in my world. I live in Nictopia. You know? Because I am the feminine. And this is y'all's pep talk to be who you are and be who you are made to be, regardless of what opposition comes. Okay? I hope this gave you guys some encouragement if you have a similar energy to me. I'm fasting right now, so if you hear my tummy growling, that's what that noise is. I'm fasting. I'm only drinking water right now, just to kind of give my body a detox. But if you would like to book a reading with me, if you need my help with this, the first thing that I suggest is getting a human design reading, because that is going to show us your own unique energy blueprint. And from there, I am thinking about, at least for the women, adding a component to that human design reading where we actually look at your archetype and kind of see where you're at. Things like the Siren, the star, things like that. That way we can kind of correlate how your energy flows with your archetype. Because the Siren, her energy and her aura and the way that her channels move is going to look very different than someone that's a different archetype, like a star. Okay? So you can do that by clicking the link in my description and contacting me either through WhatsApp or on Instagram. They are $99 and they are 7 to 9 pages as of right now. If I do add this archetypal part in, which is not typically part of human design as far as I know that there are some, like the Carl Jung, or how he has his own set of archetypes, I believe, but this is going to be separate from that within the reading. Okay? 7 to 9 pages, $99, sent to you by email within about 2 to 3 business days. Usually I get it done in one day because I'm just neurotic like that and I love it so much, but that's the turnaround time. And you can keep it forever. Your human design is you, who you were born as, energetically. So it's not going to change. You are who you are. So you can keep that PDF forever. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.